today we're playing a game called Stump the Pastor. They've got questions they're going to ask me. If they stump me, they get a point, which might be very easy. I don't know. So it's multiple choice.
All right. So I've gotten through all the easy ones because I didn't want to give you the easy ones to start with. I'm giving you medium, and I'm going to go to the harder ones after that. On which sea did Jesus' early disciples fish? Was it the Baltic Sea, the Black Sea, the Sea of Galilee, or the Red Sea?
Galilee.
That was correct.
Woo!
All right, so which of these sold his birthright for a bowl of stew? Was it
Esau.
Adam, Esau, Jacob, or Joseph?
Esau.
That was correct. The Johannine epistles refers to letters written by whom?
John. Obviously.
Okay. All right, here's another one. What was the name of Abraham's firstborn son? Was it Benjamin, Isaac, Isaac, or Ishmael?
Oh, wait, hang on. Ishmael.
Yes, it was Ishmael.
Technically the firstborn. It just wasn't Abraham and Sarah.
Right.
All right.
See, that one got a little bit harder.
Yeah, well, you threw me for a loop there.
Oh, here we go. Which of these do scholars believe was the fruit that Eve and then Adam ate in the garden? Was it an apple, a breadfruit, a pomegranate, or none of these?
None of these. There's no way we can... Scholars can't... None?
Yeah, it was none of these.
Okay, all right. So I guess maybe there's a prophetic word that makes you think of something, but...
All right. Which of these was not one of the original 12 disciples? Was it James the Greater, Judas, Paul, or Thomas?
James.
Incorrect. It was Paul that was not one of the original 12 disciples.
What's wrong with me?
Yes.
All right, Casey gets a point because I'm stupid. Yeah, I'm not sure where my head was on that one. That's because I was like, well, there's the Gospel of Thomas, and then there's the... James was his brother. I can't remember if it was that James or the other James. Wasn't even paying attention to the fact that you said
Yes,
Paul.
I know. That's why it was great.
There's a man on a lawnmower that just drove by.
All right, here's another one. While we're still giving Olivia time to search for questions.
Yep, still struggling to find anything.
What was the last word in the Bible? Was it amen, faith, God, or people?
Amen.
That's correct.
It's the end of John's letter to everybody. And he ends with a blessing on those who read it.
All right. Who was Jacob's father-in-law who tricked him into marrying the wrong sister? Was it
Laban.
Ishmael, Laban, Melchizedek, or Lot?
It's Melchizedek, first off.
Oh,
but
fine.
Laban was the answer.
Fine.
Feeling pretty good right now.
I mean, I got him on one.
You got me on a...
It was one.
I was
taking the
stupid
one.
for getting that one wrong. I just wasn't paying attention.
All right. To where was Jonah trying to sail instead of going to Nineveh as God commanded? Was it Gath, Joppa, Sidon, or Tarshish?
Tarshish.
Yeah, it was Tarshish. Ooh, here we go. Which book of the Bible does not mention God? Was it Job, Esther, Numbers, or Obadiah?
Obadiah's a prophet, so it's not him. Numbers was more historical. But no, it would mention it. Job or what?
Job or Esther.
So Esther is an anomaly in many ways, but so is Job. Job, however, reflects upon God. So it's got to be Esther. Esther?
That was correct.
Woo!
Okay, how many questions have you asked?
8. So let's get them to 10, and then you do 10.
Cool.
So 2 questions. So which of these is not one of the 12 tribes of Israel? Is it Asher, Dan, Jesse, or Simeon?
Jesse.
Yep.
Woo. Thanks, Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat musical. Yes, sir. Dan. One final question for Casey. Then he's asked 10. He has 1 point. I have 8. Will he get 2 points before his turn is up?
The Virgin Mary's Song of Praise, the Magnificent, or the Magnificat?
Magnificat. The Magnificent is the dream world on Earthbound.
Oh, sorry. My bad. Anyway. Echoes one sung by which Old Testament heroine?
Mary.
Is it Hannah? No, it's Mary's Song of Praise.
Well, yeah.
Echoes which sung by which Old Testament heroine? Is it Hannah, Miriam, Sarah, or Zipporah?
It's Miriam. Excuse me, not Mary.
That was incorrect. It was Hannah.
Hannah. Yeah, because Hannah wanted a kid, and then I was thinking Miriam because they both spontaneously erupt in.
I got 2 stumps.
All right.
One for a trick question and one for.
I was gonna say Hannah, but then I was like, Miriam was in my mind first. So it must have been Miriam, but it was not.
Our poor cameras. All right.
All right, Casey has 2 points. I have 8 points. Let's try Olivia's 10 questions.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
From what kind of lumber did Noah build the ark? Oak, cherry, elm, or gopher?
Gopher.
When Aaron put his rod inside the tabernacle, what grew on it? Olives, almonds, moss, or figs?
Almonds.
Okay. In an allegory, Isaiah prophesies that Israel would become desolate even as a tree that brings forth wild blank will be allowed to be destroyed. Almonds, olives, figs, or grapes?
Say it again.
In an allegory, Isaiah prophesied that Israel would become desolate, even as a tree that brings forth wild almonds, olives, figs, or grapes will be allowed to be destroyed.
I'm gonna say figs based on Jesus cursing a fig tree.
Isaiah prophesies that Israel will become desolate, even as a tree that brings forth wild grapes will be allowed to be destroyed.
Grape trees?
So I get 1 point. You got it wrong. I get 1 point.
Hang on a second.
What happened when Moses cast a tree into the waters of Marah? The water dissolved the tree completely. The children of Israel were able to use the tree as a bridge. The tree caught fire, or the waters were made.
The waters were made. The waters were made what?
Sweet. The waters were made.
The waters were made sweet.
Sorry, I didn't see that. There was like, another word on another line.
Moses made the waters. I was like, it turned sweet or bitter. I'm just waiting to hear which one it went. Yeah. All right.
The Pharisees ridiculed Christ because his disciples plucked and ate blank on the Sabbath. Figs, oranges, corn, or plums.
I wouldn't say any of those are right, but corn would be the most accurate. It was like wheat or something, wasn't it? Okay.
What plant did Rachel beg of her sister Leah because it was said to help with fertility?
Mandrakes.
Yes, that is the first option. What did Jacob give Esau in exchange for his birthright? Incense of cinnamon, an elixir of lavender, a drink of mint, or some pottage of lentils?
It's soup, but what were the 4 options?
Incense of cinnamon, an elixir of lavender, a drink of mint, or a pottage of lentils.
It would have to be lentils, right?
That's the only soup one.
They're reading into a few things on this particular online quiz here.
Whose spirit did the witch of Endor supposedly raise?
Samuel. You thought you were doing Star Wars and I wouldn't know.
Where did David fight and kill Goliath? Bethlehem, Mount Sinai, the Valley of Elah, or the Valley of Megiddo?
I that last one up.
It's Megiddo.
Oh, Megiddo?
Yeah, Megiddo.
Okay, say it again. The four places.
Bethlehem, Mount Sinai, the Valley of Elah, or the Valley of Megiddo?
Megiddo is fine.
Megiddo.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not Mount Sinai. Part of me wants to say Bethlehem, but that doesn't seem right. Valley of what?
Elah?
Elah.
E-L-A-H.
So El in Hebrew is God. So that could, I don't know what Elah means, but it could be reference to the false gods.
I didn't realize this one was actually hard.
Would be. And the last one was Megiddo was a plain. They're probably not having a battle just out in the middle of nowhere. So it's Bethlehem or Elah, but a valley doesn't seem right. Bethlehem?
You are incorrect. It was the Valley of Elah.
Dang it!
Second point.
Boom.
All right, you guys are tied.
Wait, I have one more question.
This is your final question. You guys are tied if you don't.
There's only two questions left here, and I'm pretty sure they're both too easy. Was there any up here you skipped?
No.
Okay. Well,
besides one that I answered, but if I answered them, then he knows it.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, we're just going to go for this. I'm sure it's easy, but we can leave it on a tie if need be. Which of these is the shortest book of the Old Testament? Jeremiah, Jonah, Micah, or Obadiah?
Obadiah.
Yeah!
Woo! Okay.
So, tiebreaker, want to do the last one on the thing? Because it's the last one?
But it's so easy. It's... Sure.
Which is the shortest book in the New Testament?
I don't know how this makes it a tiebreaker, though.
I don't know. Yeah. If he gets stumped, we win. I don't know. Anyway, is it 3rd John? Is it Jude? Is it Revelation? Or is it Titus?
Pretty sure it's Jude.
That's what I was going to say, too.
Is that your final answer? Nope. 3rd John.
3rd John was my other option.
Isn't that...
3rd John is basically like, hey, how you doing? See you later. Yeah. All right, today we bring in our own resident scientist who lives nowhere within our residence, but on the other side of the planet. She has time traveled to speak to us 6 hours ahead. What is the future like, Erin?
It's dark.
It's dark.
It's 8:30. So.
Excellent. Well, Erin, if you don't know, is a part of the JXN network and runs our podcasts that brings kind of the intersection of faith and science to life. And she is a environmental scientist. She's got the degree and everything, so she's legit. And now she's gonna legit our faces off with some talk about things that terrify Casey. Sun bathing, face bathing. What was that?
I think forest
bathing. Yes, there we go. Take us into what we're talking about, and we'll find spiritual application along the way.
So how about we just start with the concept of being outside? Let's just start with that.
Whoa!
I don't like outside.
Nerds, Erin.
Yep.
I'm a vampire.
Olivia has plants.
Very pale. She is.
You don't get this pale by being in the sun.
She used to be on this side, and we had to move her because she was too pale for the window, Erin. Too pale
and
for the window.
all three of you look very stressed, so you clearly need more time outside.
No, I just bring the outside inside.
Well, that's still part of the benefit, but you need to actually exercise. It's good for you. I'm so sorry.
And that interview is over. It's been fun.
See, everybody's got a thing. We've nailed Jamin's. He doesn't want me to tell him to eat less meat. Olivia does not like it when I tell her to go outside. Casey, it's a matter of time, my friend. A matter of time.
It'll happen.
It'll be by the end of this episode when you tell him to forest bathe, and he doesn't know what that means. So.
To be fair, I am allergic to grass and like multiple different types of trees. So there's a reason I don't go outside.
You can approach ocean or water dreaming because you live near the lakes. So it's similar to that. Anyway, so I was just like, as human beings, we should engage with the world around us. And some of us prefer to do that with a screen. And some of us prefer to go out and touch things because we don't have allergy problems, and it's okay.
That's fired.
Yeah. But we are part of a community, and we are tactile, as like we've got like fingerprints that help us grip things and feel things very nicely. So going outside, where you could argue that is our natural environment, is good for us. There's many physiological and psychological benefits to just going outside. For one, like I say, it's good for your health. But sitting just like among like trees or like a open plain or next to the shoreline helps reduce blood pressure, regulates pulse and heartbeat. So it's overall good for your circular system. You're allergic to so many types of trees because you don't go outside enough. I'm guessing that's not true.
Nerd allergies. Nerdergies.
Well, it's also like if you've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, I was allergic to cats," but then we bought cats and my allergies went away. So your constant exposure to that actually boosts your immune system, and then you no longer have problems with cat allergies. The same thing goes for just like being outside. You're constantly exposed to like pollen and different types of like smells and microbes that it will boost your immune system, and it helps your body be more resistant to disease. Being outside will help you with weight loss. Research suggests that people who spend time outside have a lower risk of obesity because they have more physical activity. So even if you're just like walking around, it's better for you to do that.
So say I were to sleep outside on a regular basis, would I be skinnier within
Probably.
time?
Okay. I'm only saying this because you're probably going to be more cold at night because you're outside. You're not in with all of the heating. So your body is going to spend more of your fat reserves in order to maintain your body heat. And that would probably make you lose weight. So yeah.
Well, then I just need to sleep more cold.
Your wife probably has something to say about that.
I was going to say, I know your wife, and she would not be on board with that.
No, she wouldn't. But if she knew how attractive I would be. Sorry, continue. Move on.
When I say that, I also mean it takes a very long period of time. I mean, those are just
2 days. Sorry, go ahead.
Years
even. Like those are just 3 things that like physically helps you. But for like our friends who are maybe more of a creative type, it will help increase your creativity. So when you get off like screens and you go outside and you like take a walk, your brain function starts to increase, and you're kind of just like turned off. You're not focusing on so hard on so many things. Like when we're using screens, or like when we're talking to people online, our brains are working harder than normal, like right now, because I have to read all of your like minutia of body language, which is harder on a screen as it is in real person. See, I don't know what that means. Are you starting a wave? What is happening? So we're never bored when we don't have a phone. So if we go outside without our phones, that we're not playing on them, boredom occurs, and that actually increases creativity. So like sometime, just like being outside, enjoying the outdoors. Although that would be worse for me because I don't find the outdoors boring, but I'm also not super creative. So there you go.
Okay, but I just saw like a trailer for a movie where they put their phones away on vacation for 10 days and aliens attacked and they didn't know. And Erin, I need to be aware.
Were they on a deserted island? Because if aliens were attacking, they would have known.
No, these little puffballs ended up in their house, and they turn on the phone and like, oh, it's aliens. So, no, I only saw a trailer.
Anyway, so it increases your creativity. It helps you be more psychologically resistant because you're like tuning in with the natural like circadian rhythm of nature, and like your human relationships improve because like When you're outside, you're usually doing it to have a good time, and you're having time with your friends, or you're going outside to calm down and relax, and that improves your mood and overall well-being with your family. I don't know why I said that, because now it feels like I'm saying something, but I'm not. It's just overall well-being with people.
Too late now. Dun, dun, dun.
It's fine. So yeah, like, good things happen when you go outside.
Which kind of makes sense, like from I mean, at least when I think of anytime I like walk through a forest, or if I'm up in my cabin, or anything like that, like if I'm alone and I do that, I typically kind of like run into these God moments. Can't tell you how many songs I've written that are about like finding God in nature. Likewise, I think you see similar things within the Bible. So there is something just about like being in nature that I find spiritual to some extent. Likewise,
Yeah.
even, I don't know. It's just, it continues to get your attention and make you realize the greatness of God. For me, that's a lot of what it does. While I become skinny at the same time.
So, like I said, there's physical benefits, but there are like spiritual benefits of just being outdoors and having a time. So, on the air environment, we've discussed this a multitude of ways, like how there's like basically 3 whole chapters of Job is God just being out there being like, look at all this cool stuff I made, look at how cool nature is. And if you look at nature, it has all of the same like shapes. It's very like curvy, everything mathematically is proportioned well. Like leaves are pretty symmetrical, and that's super desirable as human beings to see those things, but it all just fits within itself. And like God did that. Like he made a way for nature around it to fit around him, and then we fit around that. It's wonderful and I love it. And just like going outside and seeking that, it's like a big giant chapel and it's everywhere, and you don't have to worry about where the building is. Yeah.
I mean, the whole start of the Bible, of course, starts with the creation of nature, and then the finding God within very lush kind of nature in the garden and whatnot. So it's not all that shocking that you would think that this would play a huge part. And I think like even like today, like the rate at which we find ourselves outdoor at all, like how many neighbors do people know these days, as opposed to when I was growing up. Back in my day, Olivia, we knew like everybody on the street. And then like today, it took me
You knew
a long
everybody's kids on the street.
Yeah, but now like today, it takes you a long time just to learn the person who has a shared driveway with you, or the person across your apartment, because we tend to not come out. So it becomes difficult to create community without any kind of outdoors whatsoever, And I think Corona has shown us just how good we are at being inside.
Well, God also tells us to come to him with the wonder of like a child. And I don't know about you, but there's nothing more satisfying than seeing like because I know Jamin's kids, just like seeing them like embrace something natural or not embrace it. In the case of some toads I've pushed on some children, but there's always like wonder in their eye, like this is amazing. I hate it. It's amazing. Like that kind of expression is like, that's not that I hate it part, but like the thing when I want to be outside is I feel that within myself, like this is amazing. I cannot believe I'm here. I can't believe this exists. Like it's just a wonder at what our God does and is.
So I know you're going to take us into forest bathing. Have you just now described this, or
in a way? So we as like English speakers call it forest bathing, but there's actually, because we steal everything from Japan, it's a Japanese practice called Shinrin Yoku, which literally translates to forest bathing. And it's been just, I didn't hear about it until I moved here because I work for a conservation charity, and let's face it, everybody does it, and then people talk about it, and then we send emails asking what it is. So that like it's just like a means of going out into like the woods, or you could do it in any natural environment and just absorbing what's around you and like thinking about like things greater than you are, and you know, just sitting in it and listening to it. Or you don't even have to sit. So like the point is to not take your phone, but you don't even have to sit. You can just like wander around. I love a good wander. So I've learned lately is that I do not know how to hike anywhere with a destination in mind because it's very hard and terrible. So we hiked up a mountain a couple weeks ago, and my partner, my husband, he was like, "Oh, well, we're all just gonna get to the top, and we've got 6 hours to do it." And I was like, "But no, there's some moss here." No joke. I stopped for 10 minutes to look at moss, or I was like, "Oh, what are all these like brown flowers? I think it's this bog flower." And everyone's like, "Cool," and they kept walking, but not to say that you enjoy it, because when you reach the pinnacle, like that's when they take it in, and I'm more just like, "Oh, look at this stone." So everyone takes it in differently, but I just like wandering around, just absorbing what's there. Or maybe you go to a destination and you like the people who reach the top and they just like absorb everything that they can see. You just take it in and like relax and think about like Jesus.
So in other words, what you're saying is you enjoyed the journey, whereas they were more enjoying the destination.
Yes, I call them destination walkers.
Okay, well, today Erin's taught us a lot about how to lose weight by sleeping outside or making your wife freeze. She's also taught us things that we can't repeat and edit it out, to be honest. So with all that being said...
So accurate,
I think
though.
that was Casey's fault, though, not Erin's.
No, I'm just kidding.
Again.
What? My fault. Yeah, it was. It's true.
But, this is Erin's second episode with us as a resident scientist, but she's a part of the JXN Cloud network. She does, again, our podcast called The Erin Environment, which is the intersection between faith and science here on the JXN Cloud. And that comes out usually every other Thursday. So make sure you learn more about it. Look for The Erin Environment on whatever podcast app you use, or you can just find it at jacksoncloud.com/Erin-environment. So with that, Erin, thanks for giving us a little piece of nature to stand upon.
You're welcome.
To bathe upon in.
To bathe upon in.
While the earth might be glorious, it cannot contain you and all your splendor, your mercy and your grace. The heavens and the wonder, the sparkling gems above are nowhere near enough to proclaim your awesome love. You are more than the heavens can bear, than angels and men can compare. And everything that's inside us calls out for the more. So we're raising our praises to heaven's great door. While the firmament's spectacular, its stars are not intense enough to sing the wonder of the Father's great romance. But we raise our voices higher and give you all we are. We see your faces smiling as we're dreaming of your heart.